Now, you might be thinking, Victoria, I want to be a full-time stay-at-home wife and homemaker. Why are we talking about careers and education? Well, let me explain. Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Victoria and this is Time and Tenderness. Since starting my YouTube channel here and running my Instagram account, I have received numerous emails and direct messages from people all asking me the same question. And that question is, Victoria, what advice do you have to give for somebody who is aspiring to be a homemaker? Or they might ask, Victoria, how can I prepare myself now as a young person for a future as a full-time homemaker? Now, I fully enjoy receiving those messages. I always take the time to respond to each and every one of them individually and personally. I fully believe that anybody can be a homemaker regardless of marital, employment, or parental status. But for the sake of this video, I am going to be using the term homemaker as somebody who stays home full-time. In many of the cases of individuals that send me those messages, most of the time it is young ladies who are either in high school, getting ready to graduate high school, or are in their early years of college. So if that fits you, then this video is specifically for you. If you are a young lady who aspires to become a homemaker one day, you might be wondering, what things can you do now to prepare yourself for a future in full-time homemaking? First, I want to say that it is great and it is amazing that you are already thinking about long-term goals. And we need to remember that no matter what our age or where we're at in life, decisions that we make now can ultimately affect things that happen to us in the future. So even if you are in your early years of high school, getting ready to graduate high school, or getting ready to go off to college, decisions that you make now can heavily impact things that happen to you in the future. So let's jump into some advice that I have for if you are somebody who aspires to be a future homemaker. I need to add real quick, if the lighting is off, I apologize. I am filming in my bedroom today, in front of my bedroom window, and there is a storm getting ready to blow through, and so the lighting might get a little wonky. My first piece of advice for anybody who is aspiring to be a homemaker is to start good habits now. Ask yourself if there are certain tasks or jobs around your family home now that you feel capable enough to take on. Things such as doing your own laundry, the care and keeping of your own bedroom, one area of the family home, or even cooking for the family once or twice a week. Now, when I was a teenager, I had chores that I had to do around the house. And yes, I moaned and groaned over them and I didn't want to do them. But looking back now as a more mature individual, I can see that those chores actually taught me a lot of valuable lessons. There are a lot of young people who leave home for the first time, whether it be in their late teens or their early 20s, and they don't know basic life skills such as doing their laundry, how to properly cook a chicken, or how to properly buy groceries. So those very basic life skills you can start learning now at an age-appropriate level. Of course, if you are still a teenager in high school, you're still a minor, you're still a child, it's not your full responsibility to take on the full homemaking of your family home, but you can start to help out whoever is responsible for those main tasks and learn from them. Now, if you don't have somebody that you can learn from, perhaps you can reach out in your community to say, hey, I really, don't know how to do this. I feel kind of silly. Can you teach me? And there are plenty of resources here on YouTube alone that can teach you those basic life skills. Now, as a young person, you also might be at a crossroads as to what to do career-wise and education-wise when it comes to your future. There is all this pressure nowadays for young people at only 16, 17, 18 years of age to pick a career path or an education path and stick to it for the next 4 years. And that can be extremely stressful. I am here to tell you that it is perfectly okay for you to step back and maybe take a year or two to fully explore your options. Because like I said before, decisions that we make now can ultimately impact our future. We would never want to dive headfirst into a decision without being fully educated and aware of the potential consequences of that decision. Now, you might be thinking, Victoria, I want to be a full-time stay-at-home wife and homemaker. Why are we talking about careers and education? Well, let me explain. it would still be wise to seek out a modest education and a modest career path to support yourself until you reach your long-term goal of becoming a full-time homemaker. Not everyone immediately leaves high school, gets married, and is blessed to be able to live on one income in today's economy. It's just not realistic anymore. But what is realistic is to have a long-term goal and to work towards it. I also firmly believe that it is wise to take some time for yourself to get to know your own mind and your own heart first before you decide to settle down and get married. Now, I am a huge advocate for community colleges and trade schools. In our modern society, unfortunately, a lot of people look down on community colleges when they really shouldn't. Starting off at a community college allows you to, 1, stay home for a longer period of time, and 2, save a boatload of money. Education is very expensive these days, and if you can save money anywhere that you can, I think that's a really good decision to make. Most community colleges are much cheaper than traditional fancy 4-year universities. And starting off at a community college level will make the transition out of high school and into the adult world a whole lot easier for you. Especially now in the current climate of things with the COVID-19 pandemic, there are some students who have graduated high school who have not been in a classroom setting since maybe their sophomore year of high school. They spent the last year and a half, maybe even 2 years, going on 2 years in a virtual setting. So when they go to college, it might be very traumatizing or very new and stressful to them. So starting off slowly, maybe at a community college level where they're more close to home, where they can maybe transfer sooner, or maybe when you can transfer sooner from a community college, might be a little bit more wiser. And thunder is starting, so if you hear any thunder in the background, that storm is starting. Now, I also believe that trade schools are an amazing option. They allow you to pick a field of study and get certified or licensed in that field at a much faster pace for much less the cost. So what are some good career paths that an aspiring homemaker can look into that will help prepare them for a future in homemaking? Now, when people think of homemakers, they think of people who don't have jobs or people who aren't skilled or not employable, and I am here to tell you that that is far from the truth. The vast majority of homemakers that I know are people who are very skilled and who have education that they can always reach back into and use if need be. Let me share with you my own story, for example. Now, I was very fortunate to be able to go to a vocational high school. So with a vocational high school, I was able to get a traditional high school education as well as pick a trade program that I could learn while still in high school, and upon high school graduation, have my licensing and certification for that trade. So when I graduated high school at the age of 18, I was already employed at a very nice salon and spa, and I had my cosmetology license and high school diploma. Now, you might already be in high school, so that window has passed of being able to choose a vocational high school, or a vocational high school is not available in your area. Don't worry. Community colleges and trade schools all offer similar programs that you can look into after you graduate high school. Also, a community college you can typically attend for 2 years and then take those credits and move over to another school. Here are some career paths that I personally feel that will help set you up as a successful future homemaker. Cosmetology, certified nursing assistant, nurse, secretary, paralegal, banking, accounting, hospitality, school bus driving, and last but not least, real estate. Now, these are just a few career paths that you can choose from that you can either do part-time until you reach your goal, or you can always maintain those certifications and licensures. That way, if you ever need to dip back into them, you can. And you are also learning valuable life skills from those various modes of education. For instance, if you look into cosmetology, you'll learn all about hair, skin, and nails, allowing you to maybe cut your own hair at home, cut your children's hair or your spouse's hair, and save time and money that way as a future homemaker. As somebody with an accounting background, you can also be very savvy with your household finances. Those are just some brief examples. And like I briefly mentioned before, you can always dip back into those career paths if need be, whether it be that you want to just do it for seasonal work once or twice a year, or if you ever just were in a pinch and you needed to help somebody out, you still are able to do so. Now, enough talk about education and career paths. I want to leave you at the end of this video with the piece of advice that I think is the most important, and that is to get to know yourself. Take time to really get to know who you are as an individual. Really take the time to really know your own likes, dislikes, and interests. Oftentimes when we are young, we are pressured by our family, friends, peers, society, and the media, and they are the ones that tell us what we should like, what we should do, or how we should feel. But I encourage you to take the time to really self-discover yourself. It is my opinion that the real key to happy homemaking is to really knowing your own heart and mind. So take the time to get to know yourself. There's no need to immediately graduate high school and try and dive headfirst into marriage and full-time family life. Take the time to really learn about yourself. In my experience, it is after you've become settled with your own mind and heart, that once after you know who you are as a person, that is when all your goals, wishes, and desires start to really line up. Well, friends, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!